Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Cop shot by colleague in fuss at Vale Royal. A police constable shot and injured by his colleague in an early morning incident on the grounds of Vale Royal in St. Andrew, law enforcement sources have revealed. Vale Royal is the official residence of Prime Minister Andrew Holness, however, he does not live there. The shooting happened during an altercation between the injured cop and another police constable about 2:36 a.m., sources reported. The injured cop was reportedly shot in the stomach and has been transported to hospital. He is assigned to the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch. The other cop is said to be assigned to the Protective Services Division. Hanover mom dies in St. James crash while transporting children. A Hanover woman died from injuries she sustained in a motor vehicle crash while transporting her children along the 41 Main Road in Rose Heights in St. James last night. She has been identified as 36-year-old babysitter Simone Harton. The police report that about 9 p.m., Harton and her 4 children were traveling in her Nissan AD wagon motor car from the direction of Rose Heights to downtown Montego Bay. On reaching a section of the 41 Main Road in Rose Heights, Harton lost control of the vehicle, which collided into a parked truck. She sustained serious injuries to her head and body, and she and her children were taken to the Conroe Regional Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. 3 of the children remain in hospital. Harton is the 6th person to be killed in the road crashes across western Jamaica over the past week. Gardener falls into cesspit, feared dead. A gardener who fell into a pit into Shanky Coral Gardens community in Montego Bay, St. James is feared to have died. Members of the Jamaica Fire Brigade are attempting to rescue the man from the pit. Residents claim that the gardener was working on the premises when he stepped on the cover of the pit, which gave way. Cesspool operators are said to have been already removed 3 loads of influence from the pit. 23-year-old man killed in St. Elizabeth crash. A 23-year-old man was killed in a motor vehicle crash on the Lockover Main Road in St. Elizabeth on Sunday. He has been identified as DeMarco Debo, otherwise called Pi, of Burnt Garden District in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth. Police reports are that about 1:30 a.m., Debo was traveling in a Toyota Axio motor car towards Santa Cruz when the driver lost control of the vehicle and crashed into the guardrail at the Lockover Bridge. Debo was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Would-be shooter disarmed by teen. A 44-year-old would-be shooter was disarmed by a 16-year-old boy on Chisholm Avenue in St. Andrew on Sunday. The firearm and the suspect were handed over to the police. Police report that about 2 p.m., both males had a dispute during which the suspect reportedly pulled a firearm and pointed it at the teen. A struggle reportedly ensued during which the teen allegedly used a machete to inflict wounds to the suspect and managed to relieve him of the firearm. The police were summoned and the weapon, a 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 1 9mm cartridge, was handed over to the cops along with the suspect. The police say the suspect was treated at a medical facility for his injuries and remained in custody. Bridge in Todra St. Catherine to be rehabilitated. The National Works Agency NWA will be rehabilitating the natural bridge in Todra St. Catherine at a cost of $318 million. The works are to be undertaken in 2 phases, with $160 million being spent in Phase 1. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Everett Warrington, said the project will be done in 2 phases due to the availability of funds. Warrington said as soon as the NWA officers who accompanied him submit the estimates, we will try and include them in this year's budget. He added that Member of Parliament for the area, Kerisha Morrison, and made representation to get the road rehabilitated, and he responded to the request. I intend to assist her as best as I can to change what we find here, Warrington said, while speaking following a tour of several roads in St. Catherine Northeast last week. He explained that along with representations made by political representatives, citizens can also write to me, and I will try and assist them. Once it is central government roads, I will respond. For her part, Marson reported that from her representation, some $200 million has been spent to rehabilitate roads. She said the Guys Hill Main Road has been recommended for rehabilitation, while work is taking place on the Mount Industry Williamsfield Main Road, the Tundra Road, and Riversdale in Williamsfield Road. So significant work has been done, and we have started a number of farm roads in Guy's and Mount Industry, Morrison noted. Positive feedback from public consultations on climate change policy. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation says it has received positive feedback from the public consultations held on the Emissions Policy Framework and the updated Climate Change Policy Framework for Jamaica. The series of 4 public sessions ended on February 22nd with the staging of a virtual town hall. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Matty Samuda, said that the consultations engage members of the public and private sectors as well as civil society. He said that the ministry benefited from significant input from these stakeholders, including the youth, environmental practitioners, as well as transport and energy experts. At the same time, Acting Chief Technical Director in the Ministry's Policy Planning and Evaluation Division, Gillian Guthrie, said that very good feedback will receive from the consultations. The reception to the 2 documents have been positive. We are asking, especially for the emission policy framework, to have a greater focus on civil society participation, she said. She noted that civil society has indicated interest in wanting to be upfront involved and engage in the decision-making process regarding the regulating of the country's emissions. Guthrie said that private sector operators have also been receptive. We have heard from members of the private sector about what they have been doing within the respective companies to reduce their emissions and to build their resilience to the impacts of climate change, she stated. Meanwhile, Samuda said all Jamaicans are at risk when it comes to climate change and is urging citizens to not only actively participate in initiatives to address climate and air quality management, but to also take part in the process of crafting relevant national policies. We hope that people will understand that we are already facing particular risk, and if we don't take steps now to address them and our behavior, these risks will become heightened, Samuda stated. We also want them to know that these risks are real and they will affect us negatively, he added. The Emissions Framework Policy and Revised Climate Change Policy Framework documents are available for review and feedback on the Ministry's website. Individuals can also send their feedback via email to megjc@megjc@gov.jm up to March 31st, 2022. 25 new COVID-19 cases, no death recorded. Jamaica on Sunday recorded 25 new cases of COVID-19, with ages ranging from 3 to 100 years, pushing the total to 127,986. Of the new infections, 14 are men and 11 are women. The cases are recorded in St. James 7, Kingston and St. Andrew 5, St. Elizabeth 4, Clarendon 3, St. Catherine 2, St. Mary 1, Hanover 1, St. Thomas 1, Manchester 1, Westmoreland, St. Anne, Trelawney and Portland none. A total of 2,990 tests were conducted. The country's positivity rate stands at 2.6%. Meanwhile, no additional death was recorded, keeping the tally at 2,813. In the meantime, there were 284 more recoveries, increasing the total to 76,987. Some 134 persons are in hospital, with 32 being moderately ill, 13 severely ill, and 10 critically ill. 14,528 persons are at home in quarantine. Manchester police sensitize citizens on domestic violence. With a stronger need for a proactive approach to tackle domestic violence, the Manchester police hosted a pop-up clinic last Friday aimed at sensitizing individuals on the matter. The initiative of the Community Safety and Security Branch of the Manchester Police, Team Enough is Enough, Let's Talk About It, was supported by several police officers, the Poor's Parenting Club, psychologists, the Restorative Justice Center, Northern Caribbean University, and the Police Youth Club across the parish, among other stakeholders. We want persons to be educated and know that help is available. We don't want them to hide, but to speak about the issues, because if you don't speak about it, you won't be able to get help. We would also love for Manchester to get a domestic violence center, because that will help. In addition to the Restorative Justice Center, we would have another entity to help us treat with domestic violence, said Sub-Officer in charge of the Manchester Safety and Security Branch, Inspector Bertlin Lloyd. According to Lloyd, there have been approximately 40 domestic cases and related issues reported since the start of the year. Between June and December last year, there were approximately 98 incidents, the most cases recorded. Further reports are that 3 matters are currently before the courts, while the others are being monitored. Deputy Superintendent of Police and Territorial Officer for the Mandeville Division, Elsa Smith, reported that this is part of a bigger initiative to ensure that there is early intervention. In the past, we would have seen is that the police were forced to be reactive, and we want to be more proactive. What we are saying is, we need all hands on deck. It doesn't have to be that the victim or the person in the situation comes and alert the police, but we are open to dialogue so we can take proactive steps to stem the domestic violence. With domestic violence going beyond escalated matters between spouses, Smith indicated that persons ought to be more aware of the gamut of this malady. Particularly, we are concerned about the elders. They too are victims of domestic violence in that their caregivers sometimes abuse them, and so we are trying to reach everybody. Our children too are victims of domestic violence. We are cognizant of the fact that we need to police with the community, hence our partners. The Deputy Commanding Officer indicated that all stations and sub-officers within the parish have been mandated to prioritize all reports of domestic violence to ensure that their necessary steps are taken to address the matter. Domestic violence is cynical, and we don't want to get it to the point where someone is killed. From my office, we have seen a number of such matters. We have done sessions on intimate partner violence, family violence, and what is amazing is that persons have been asking for other sessions to be had. With this receptiveness to the efforts of the police, Smith indicated that the parish could see a significant reduction in the number of domestic violence incidents. Domestic violence is a crime, and we want everybody to know that. Our initiative today is to sensitize with the context of love, because we believe that if persons are being able to share love in a significant way, then that too will help us to see less incidents. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.